Hello, everyone, and welcome to Otaku Talk. I'm your host, OD. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be discussing chapter 184 of Dr. Stone, and I'm super excited. So, without much further ado, let's get right into it.
頑張れそう頑張れ諦めないで口笛吹きさ歩き出そうよ Going now
So, fun fact, Dr. Stone is actually the first manga I covered on this YouTube channel. I don't really know why. You would think it would be One Piece, but I guess maybe I was just reading Dr. Stone at the time and I was really excited about it. Thanks to the anime, it does have quite, some mainstream appeal, but I don't think it's one of the bigger ones, and I think that's just such a tragedy because I think it's such a great series. I love the series the moment I picked it up. First of all, artwork, bar none, 10 out of 10. I love the art. The mangaka for this is a phenomenal artist, and I just love the panels. I love the character designs. I love how sleek and just how nice everything looks. Also, fun fact, he's already done and will continue to do the Ace Story mangas, so look forward to those because I've read the light novels and they're pretty good. And just for someone who likes One Piece a lot, getting any kind of background, just more lore, you know how it is when you're a part of any fandom that has lore, just having access to more of that lore is always a great thing. So check that out. But yeah, Dr. Stone has been a phenomenal series. For those of you that well, I don't see why you'd be watching review 184 if you're not hip to it. But if you're not, long story short, and this is gonna have some spoilers, there's a device that is able to petrify humanity in stone, and the series starts off with all of the world being encased in stone, and our hero, our protagonist Senku, who's a super genius scientist, is somehow able to escape, and we find out how he's able to escape, and after he escapes, he figures out like a series of events happens, but long story short, he figures out how to revive people. He also figures out there are other people alive in this world, and so they go on all sorts of adventures and stuff. And so the coolest thing I liked is how every arc has kind of portrayed different aspects of humanity and like our struggles. And initially, we had brain versus nature. Then we had brain versus brawn. And then I was really excited for this arc, and I'm really sad I didn't shoot videos during this, quite honestly. But the Science Kingdom, well, not science, they're the Science Kingdom, but the American Science Kingdom arc was phenomenal. I feel like I have to go back and do a complete arc review of that one because that was an incredible arc, science versus science. And it's just a beautiful thing to see all of Senku's efforts and stuff coming together and culminating in like a new society. And like obviously, most of his enemies he's made somewhat allies. And so I would really, really love to see Zeno become an ally because in my opinion, two heads are better than one, so two super genius brains are better than one. And we know that, like, I wouldn't say Senku is smarter than Zeno. I wouldn't go that far. I think that they are pretty much on the same level. I think when you get to a certain level in science, like, yes, there are like super geniuses, but I think when you get to a certain level, you're not necessarily smarter than someone in certain regards, but you might specialize. Like, you might just be better at one subject than another, and I think that's kind of what we have going on. You do have to give Senku a little bit more credit and acknowledgement, however, simply just because he was a lot younger. He's a lot younger than Dr. Zeno. But Dr. Zeno was the one that was mentoring him. That's such a cool callback. There's a lot of things in this story that may upset some people. I know some people are like, there's just too, like, they keep finding people that they know, and like, yeah, like realistically, like, that really shouldn't happen. But for the sake of a story, for a manga, like, enjoy it. And we've seen worse things and other stuff, so let's just take this and enjoy it for the ride it is. So anyway, um I'll talk a little bit about last chapter. they've been running away from Stanley. Xenos is basically like right hand man, his muscle, and so before we saw that he was giving him a signal, right? A signal to track him down. Now I noticed in one of the panels that Senku like kind of raises his eye, kind of like shows some awareness. So he was aware that like Xenos is signaling Stanley, and so we find out in this chapter exactly why. So getting into chapter 148, we see them shifting dirt. They are I forget what it's called, excavating. They're excavating, trying to find diamonds. They're trying to repower the Medusa devices in order to weaponize them and use them against Stanley, as well as just have a general understanding of them. Because if they can have a general understanding of how these devices work, possibly where they came from, they can start figuring out some other things, right? And so I just think it's really ingenious what they've done with the time they've done it. Once again, suspension of disbelief is a really important thing in manga, especially something like this that's supposed to be rooted in science. There's I forget what it's called, but it's something science scale. It's like Mohs hardness scale, where like different things have different levels of hardness. Okay, so I actually took the time to look it up. I was correct. It's called Mohs scale of science fiction hardness, and as I was explaining earlier, it's pretty much the same thing as the one you would use in science when you're trying to figure out the hardness of any given mineral, right? And so basically, it's a way to calculate like how much fiction there is to the science fiction in a series. So you have like level 1, which is science and genre only. Like it says that the work is unambiguously set in the literary genre of science fiction, and basically, long story short, what it's supposed to get at is it's just nonsensical science. Like it has examples of stuff like Futurama, Star Wars, Gurren Lagann, Doctor Who, where like it's science but like completely fictional. There's no real life applicable theories that allow for these things to happen. Then you have two. It says World of Phlebotonym. The universe is full of applied phlebotonym, which with more to be found behind every star, and the phlebotomy is dealt with fairly consistent fashion despite. Anyway, I don't know what I'm getting into it. I don't quite understand this one. And in the realm is considered to lie within the realm of scientific inquiry, whatever. I'm gonna skip these. Basically, I'm gonna get to what I believe Dr. Stone to be at. I believe it to be at either a 4 or a 5 between One Big Lie and speculative science. Basically, I kind of want it to be more towards speculative science because this is where the science of the tale is genuine speculative science or engineering. And basically what that means is for the most part, everything we've seen Senku do is technically like theoretically possible and like can be applied. Like he hasn't talked about any random particles that don't exist in real life, or like done any like alchemy where he just brings something into existence using like for example, that one would be more along the lines of pseudoscience, maybe a 2 or 3 like Full Metal Alchemist. But so like everything Senku's done has been biology, chemistry, etc. So the only other one it could be is One Big Lie, which basically pretty much it's similar to 4, except there's one principle that doesn't quite exist, and you basically wrap the story around that principle, and it just works in conjunction with like, so for example, an example of that would be like, for example, in Marvel, where you have certain like how we are still currently looking for an energy source for things. So you have something like Iron Man with his I forget what the frick metal it is, but whatever metal powers his arc reactor, and now he can create perpetual energy. that's basically what we're looking at with, I believe, One Big Lie. So I can't wait for my series where like I go in with my friends, two of the smartest people I know, and they break down and dissect the science behind the series and if something Senku is doing is actually plausible or if it's just a bunch of horseshit. So I look forward to that series and I hope you guys do too. Anyway, getting back into the chapter. The fort they made looks incredible. How they're continually able to just keep making stuff with like no time is insane. Once again, we're gonna have to leave that to suspension of disbelief. But like from making the ship to making the submarine to making the what's it called the motorcycle, the elevator, the zip line. They're just like Senku's a mad genius, and I love it. But like I said, I just the way they're so quickly able to just like assemble things and put things together is super wild. I'm really looking forward to this upcoming fight. They look it looks well planned out, and that's what makes me nervous. Cause like if it was the other way around where it was like they just like completely at a disadvantage, like there's no way they can win this, like I would feel a lot more comfortable from a like a reader perspective, because to me it feels like okay, like obviously our heroes are going to triumph, but now like if you've read enough manga and stuff, hey, things are going a little bit too well right now. Like what could go wrong? Anytime you as the reader like feel like the main character is in a what could go wrong position because like they got this, that's when you should panic the most. That's such a big flag. So just you heard it here first. Like what can go wrong flag, huge. So we'll see how it goes, because right now it's incredible. Their original ideas were a little flawed, and they had a lot of like they had a good rationale, but now this is kind of like a kamikaze attack, right? Because this has the biggest like chance to be the most effective, but at the same time this has the chance to be what screws them over, because I personally believe, I really think that it's not gonna work. I think that everyone's gonna get frozen over, but there's gonna be someone that stays back on this ship, or looped around or flanked, or like something or the other. Basically someone doesn't get caught in the radius, and whoever the person that's left has to contend with that person. Now from there, obviously I think our heroes will prevail, but I don't think it will be easy as we're leading up to. So I'm very excited for the next chapter, which, because of how long it took me to put this video up, won't be too long from now. So please look forward to that. Anyway, thank you for tuning into Otaku Talk with OD. Please like, share, and subscribe. Anyone who likes this channel, if you're interested, I'm looking for a new editor right now. Just shoot me a message at my inbox, either on YouTube or Facebook. Facebook's probably the easiest place. Send me a message on my fan page or whatever. So yeah. Anyway, take care.